Well, hey friends, and welcome back. Today, I want to share with you 25 ideas for things that you can declutter in your bathroom so that you can simplify in one of the most used spaces in the home. Now, let's just be honest here, the bathroom isn't exactly the most glamorous room in the house, but it's an important one. It's where we get ready and prepare for the day, where we wash and cleanse ourselves, and we do a lot in there. And as a result, it's an area where clutter can quickly build up, making your space feel messy, chaotic, and like you always need to wade through clutter to find what you need. Or at least you need to push it out of the way. And all that makes for a bathroom that isn't really functional, and that can feel stressful to get ready in, to keep organized, and to clean. But the good news is, by decluttering and simplifying in the bathroom, you really can turn it into a space that isn't just practical, but that's enjoyable and even calming to get ready in. So today, we're going to be looking at 25 things that you can declutter from your bathroom. My hope is that they help you to transform your space from a clutter haven to a spa-like environment. We've got a lot to cover, so if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button below for more simple and intentional living videos coming at you twice a week. Now let's get started with the first thing that you can declutter, and that's excess or threadbare towels. Whether you store your towels in a linen closet or somewhere in the bathroom, go to wherever you store your towels and just quickly take inventory of how many you have and the condition that they're in. When it comes to how many towels you want to keep, a rule of thumb that I like to follow is you want to have one towel for each member of the household, and then also enough for any potential guests. So for Christopher and I, there's 2 of us, and then our house also holds up to 4 potential guests. So we like to have 6 towels on hand at all times. Any more than that, and there would definitely be towels just sitting around unused for months on end. But any less than that, and we would definitely feel constrained at times when we had friends or family staying over. So if you have too many towels, donating those can be a great idea, but then also look at the condition of the towels that you have. If you hold them up to a light source and can kind of see through them, you're noticing a lot of wear on them, it might be time to replace those towels. There can sometimes be a fine line between a towel that's worn in and one that's too far gone, but once you start seeing holes or really obvious signs of wear, it might be time to replace that towel. But then the second thing that you can declutter from the bathroom is excess packaging. Whether this is the wrapper that your toilet paper came in or cardboard packaging from backstock products, there can often be a lot of different packaging and materials involved in the items that we store in our bathroom. And so one easy way to reduce visual clutter and to create space in your closets and cupboards is simply to remove the excess packaging. And another benefit of this too is it actually makes the products easier to reach. You're not trying to detangle a piece of toilet paper from the wrapper or box that it came in. You can just grab it and do your business. And this isn't something that takes a lot of effort to do either, maybe a couple of minutes tops, but it's one of those subtle things that can make a big difference. Then number 3 is conditioner. Maybe it's just me, but for some reason I always feel like I have way more conditioner on hand than I do shampoo. In the shower, I feel like I use relatively similar amounts, and yet my conditioner always lasts way longer than my shampoo, and I've been known to have 3 or 4 extra bottles of conditioner lying around. And I think that's a pretty common problem for a lot of people, either using shampoo or conditioner more frequently than the other. And so if that's something that you're guilty of, like I often am, just try decluttering whichever you might have excess of. Try passing it on to a family member or a friend, or if you do want to use it all up yourself, just commit to not buying any more until you've worked through all of the products that you have. Then number 4 is perfume, cologne, or body sprays that either you don't like or that don't match your body chemistry. Perfume is one of those things that we wear purely for scent-based reasons. So if you don't like the smell of it, or if it doesn't really work for you and your body, there's no real reason to hold on to it. And that second bit about body chemistry is especially important that we pay attention to. Because just because you might like the smell of something in the bottle doesn't mean that when you actually spray it on yourself, it's going to smell quite the same way. Perfume interacts with each of our bodies a bit differently, so what smells great on one person might not smell as good on another. And so if a specific scent doesn't match your body chemistry, that's totally fine, but just pass it on to someone else who it might smell better on. Okay, and number 5 is vitamins and medicine. If you have vitamins or medicine that are expired or that you haven't used in months or years, you could definitely consider getting rid of those. Then also, if you have duplicates, a couple bottles open of a specific kind, try condensing those as well. And a quick note with this one is ideally you don't want to be storing your medicine or vitamins in the bathroom. The moisture in there can actually kind of mess with the chemical composition of some of those medicines. So ideally you want to keep them in a more dry area. Personally, I like to keep mine in the kitchen. So if you have been storing your vitamins, your medicine in the bathroom, maybe try moving it. And 6 is empty products. And I think that we've all been there with products at one point or another where there's just like a teeny tiny little bit left at the very bottom of a bottle, and it's so much work to actually go in and get those last few drops that instead we just open up a new container rather than going to that extra effort. And if you've ever done that before, don't worry, I feel you, I've done that as well. I think it can be really easy for us sometimes to leave almost empty or even completely empty products in the bathroom because we'll use them up or use them up mostly and then just forget about them. So just go through all the products in your bathroom one by one and try to figure out if you have any empty or near empty products. For the empty ones, you can just dispose of those appropriately, but then for the near empty ones, see if you might be able to decant them into, say, an existing bottle of something that you already have open. That way you're not wasting any product, but you don't have any practically empty products lying around. And just a side note with this one, if you find any duplicate open products that you have, combining those two can be a great way to save space. All right, the number 7 is old toothbrushes. And I always like to say with this one, you only need 2. One for brushing your teeth and one for cleaning. If you have multiple old toothbrushes hanging around, not only can that add clutter, but it's also a bit confusing too. Then while we're on the topic of toothbrushes too, check the one that you're using on a regular basis. Toothbrushes need to be switched out every few months as the bristles wear out. So if you're noticing the bristles are really frayed in your current toothbrush, it's probably time to replace it. And then 8 is travel size toiletries or samples. And these ones can be a bit sneaky. I always find that travel size and sample products just kind of have a way of sneaking into your life without you even realizing it. Maybe they were given to you, they were included with an order that you placed online, they were a freebie for buying something else. These things just kind of have a way of showing up. I think the important thing with this one is to be realistic with yourself. I'm not entirely against travel size toiletries. I often travel with just a carry-on, so I know that these have their place. But if there are trial or sample size items that you've had for months or years without ever using, that's usually an indication that you're never going to use them. So either commit to using them up or pass them on. And then on a related note, number 9 is travel bags and bottles that you don't use. Have you ever bought one of those little packs of all the little travel size bottles and containers, but then maybe only used a few of them? Again, raising my hand here, definitely guilty of this one. I think it's important that we keep only what we actually use because more than that just ends up being clutter, especially when we're talking about all the little bottles and containers that come in those packs. Those can create an absolute mess in your cabinets. And so if you travel regularly, it's totally fine to keep a little bag filled with the bottles and containers that you need for your essentials just for when you travel. The key here is just to make sure that you're keeping what you need without any excess. If you have a lot of travel-sized bottles and containers that regularly go unused, I'd consider getting rid of them. And then number 10 is to declutter old or too many tweezers, razors, and trimmers. I read somewhere recently that life is too short to always be using a blunt razor, and I think that's so true. If you have razors or tweezers that you've been using far past their prime, this might be your signal to replace them. You know, because those things wear out gradually over time, I think we can sometimes be dulled to the fact that our blades are literally dulling on us. They're not working as well, and they can even leave us with little nicks and marks too. So just quickly look at your tweezers, your razor, any other grooming products that you might have, and see if it might be time for a replacement. Number 11 is expired or oily sunscreen. There are 2 things that we're looking at here with our sunscreen. First, it's important to look at the expiration date on your sunscreen because expired sunscreen becomes less effective over time, meaning that your sunscreen might not be doing the job that you think it is in protecting your skin. So it's important to pay attention to expiration dates, but then also too, you want to be looking at the consistency of the sunscreen. I've definitely used sunscreens personally that have caused my skin to break out, and that's never something that we want. Unfortunately though, sunscreen that doesn't work for our skin is something that most of us learn the hard way. The important thing is, if there is a sunscreen that causes you to break out, you shouldn't hold on to it. If it's something that isn't doing good things for your skin that you know that you're not going to use, there's no point in keeping it. And then along the same lines, number 12 is skincare products that don't work for your skin type. Just like each of us is unique as individuals, our skin is all different too. Some of us might have more combination skin, others might be dry, more oily, and we all have various skin concerns. And so it's just a fact that not every skincare product is going to work for your skin. Some might cause your skin to look a bit oily, to look dry, it might cause you to break out. None of us want that. But much like with sunscreen, sometimes the only way that we can really discover that something doesn't work for us is through trial and error. So I'd really encourage you just to go through your skincare products and just to ask yourself, is this something that worked for my skin type? And if it isn't, try passing it on. Then number 13 is a bit more of a general principle, and that's just that less is more. And these days, there are so many different skincare products out there available to you, whether that's exfoliators, scrubs, serums, and the list goes on. Personally, I'm a big proponent of the idea that less is more when it comes to our skincare. I don't think we need sometimes as much as we think we do. And personally, I've actually seen some pretty amazing results just from washing my face with a bit of water, applying moisturizer, and sunscreen. And obviously, if you want to use a few more products than that, that's totally fine. But just really think about how you might be able to do more with less when it comes to your skincare. All right, the number 14 is a quick one, and that's just soaps or moisturizers that you don't like the scent of. This one really just goes back to the idea that we don't tend to use the things that we don't like. And so if there's a product in your bathroom right now that you don't like the scent of, chances are you probably aren't using it all that frequently, or if you are, you're not enjoying that experience. So stop storing unnecessary clutter or putting yourself through an unpleasant experience. Scents are super individual, so what might not smell good to you, someone else might love, so try passing it on to someone else who can enjoy it a whole lot more than you. Then 15 is Goopy old nail polish. And nail polish might not always come with an expiration date, but you can always tell when it's passed. So I'd encourage you just to go through your nail polishes and test them one by one, check the consistency of them. If you have any that are coming out goopy, runny, or dried out, where the consistency just wouldn't go well on your nail, it's probably time to get rid of them. Then while you're doing that, make sure to check for 16 too, and that's crazy nail polish colors that you no longer wear. And I think at some point we all went through a phase where we wanted to sport blue or green or bright orange glittery nails. And maybe that might have been cool and we loved that at the time, but these days your nail polish color tastes are pretty radically different. If as you go through your nail polish you come across colors that you know that you haven't worn in who knows how long, definitely encourage you to get rid of those as well. The next 17 is makeup that's the wrong shade. I think this one is pretty self-explanatory. Makeup that doesn't match our skin tone is never going to be flattering, and I've definitely had to declutter makeup products in the past that were too dark and just made my skin look orange, or too light, and that made me look like some kind of pale doll. And so I'd say this one is especially important for makeup products that are designed to match your skin tone, but I'd also keep an eye out for things like blushes and eyeshadows too that maybe are very cool tone when your skin is more warm toned, or vice versa. Certain colors are naturally more flattering on us than others, and so just be conscious of, are the colors that I'm using in the makeup that I own, flattering? Are they helping my skin, or are they potentially hurting it, maybe making me look a little bit pale and sickly? Then continuing our discussion of makeup, number 18 is expired makeup and perfume. Just like with anything else, over time, makeup can change its consistency and perfume can lose its scent or even go a bit off. And so you want to make sure that the products that you're using are working at their best. And in my PDF checklist, I actually included a section on how long different products actually last for. So if you have any questions about whether or not your makeup might be expired, you can check that out. But as you're decluttering your bathroom, that's always something that's worth checking. Then number 19 is frayed or old makeup brushes. And to this one, I'm actually going to add makeup sponges that are worn out. Take a quick look through the products that you use to apply your makeup. Where we pretty regularly will replace makeup that we've used up, often we just completely neglect our brushes. We'll hold on to them until way past their prime and often don't always do the best job of cleaning them either. So there are two things that you can do here. First is just to clean your brushes. Sometimes it can be hard to tell the actual condition of your makeup brushes until you've actually given them a good wash. So that's always a good place to start, but then after that, just look through your brushes and figure out if there are any that it's time to let go of. And I find that especially makeup sponges, if you use those, tend to wear out a lot faster than brushes, so make sure to pay some special attention to those. And then moving on, let's talk about some hair products. Number 20 is broken bobby pins or stretched out hair ties. When we're talking about bobby pins and hair elastics, those are two products that are purely designed to be functional. And so if something that is foundational to their function is no longer working, there's no real point in holding on to that. All they're really doing is taking up space and causing a bit of annoyance when you go to reach for a bobby pin or reach for a hair elastic and find one that doesn't really work. And then number 21 is to get rid of any scrunchies, headbands, or other hair accessories that you don't use. So switching gears a bit here, where bobby pins and hair ties tend to be more practical practical items, I would say that headbands and scrunchies and other hair accessories tend to be more aesthetic. So as you're going through your scrunchies and headbands, just ask yourself, when was the last time you wore it, and is it something that you actually love? If you don't really like the item that much and it's been quite a while since you last wore it, that should be a pretty easy decluttering decision. I always say when decluttering, the two best questions that you can ask yourself are, do I love it and do I use it? And I think it's especially true here. Tells you a lot about how much you actually value that item. But then number 22 is hair tools. And what you can be looking for here is if you have any broken hair tools, they don't work quite as well as they used to. If you have any duplicates, and then also too, if there might be any attachments or accessories that you no longer use. So for example, if you blow dry your hair on a daily basis, but maybe it came with a diffuser attachment that you've never touched, you can just get rid of the diffuser attachment and keep the hairdryer. My suggestion with this one is that if you're on the fence with whether or not to keep something, I would almost lean towards decluttering it when it comes to hair tools specifically, because they're things that take up a lot of space and can be really difficult to store in our bathroom. So especially if you're a bit tight on space in your bathroom, I would say the less hair tools that you have, the better. Then number 23 is another quick one. Much like with skincare and makeup products that don't work for you, not all hair care products are going to work for you either. So it's a great idea just to declutter any that don't work for your hair type. You know, personally, I have extremely fine hair, and so it's very easy for different hair products to make my hair look oily. And so something that I'm really conscious of is whenever trying a new hair product, I always just try to make an immediate decision of, okay, does this help or hurt my hair? And if it doesn't help, I'm just going to pass it on to someone else who it might work for better. Okay, and then we've just got two left here. Number 24 is duplicate brushes or combs. My personal motto is that you really only need one of each. Find that brushes and combs are one area that we can often have duplicates, triplicates, or even more of, and most of the time we're just using one regularly and the rest are just taking up space. So my recommendation is just to keep your favorite one of each and get rid of the rest. Then finally, number 25 is excess or worn out cleaning supplies. If you have a ton of cleaning rags, see what you might be able to do to pare down the collection. Or if you have a worn out toilet cleaning brush that you haven't replaced in years, it's probably time to get a new one. And this isn't to say that you can only have the bare minimum of cleaning supplies or that everything has to be brand spanking new, but I think it's important that we're realistic with ourselves. If you have way too much or things are pretty worn out, it might be time to pare down or to replace specific items. All right, well, those are 25 things that you can declutter from your bathroom today, and I hope that this really gives you some ideas to get started in the right direction. Please keep in mind, though, that these are suggestions, not rules. You can use these ideas as inspiration, but make sure you apply them to your own space and situation. Only you know what's going to work best for you and your family. All right, but now if you've made it to the end of the video, you're excited to get started decluttering your bathroom, I've got a special resource that I want to share with you. I've created a free printable PDF checklist containing all of the decluttering ideas that we've talked about today, plus some advice on expiration dates for various skincare and makeup products. So if you want to download that free PDF and start decluttering your bathroom today, be sure to check out the link in the description box below. I'll have all of the information available for you there. And then just one other resource for you. If you feel like you're really on a roll with decluttering and you're ready to tackle not just your bathroom, but your entire house, then be sure to check out my ebook, The Simple Guide to Decluttering Your Home. In it, I walk you through the entire decluttering process step by step, giving you specific ideas and inspiration for each space. And so if you've ever felt a bit overwhelmed by the idea of decluttering your entire home, this ebook can really help make it feel a lot more practical and manageable. I'm actually really excited to share too, I just published a new updated version of the ebook containing brand new advice and ideas. So to pick up your copy today, just click on the link in the description box below, and as a special offer, since I just shared this new version of the ebook, you can get 10% off using the code BATHROOM. And again, all of the information for both the PDF and the ebook will be linked up for you in the description box below, so be sure to check those out. That's everything I've got for you today, but as always, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you haven't already. But until next time, friends, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.